Hey there, and thank you for tuning in to the Mystic High, the First Light audiobook, whether you're listening here on YouTube or wherever else you might be enjoying this story. In this session, we'll be diving into chapters 11 through 15. These chapters follow Percy as he struggles with the aftermath of his fight, faces the rising tide of rumors, and learns just how heavy the weight of whispers and legacies can be. Expect new alliances, sharper tensions, and plenty of questions that only grow more dangerous as the story unfolds. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen or to read along. I truly hope you enjoy the journey ahead.
Chapter 11. Whispers of a Hybrid. The fog clung to the early morning streets as I stood at the bus stop, my shoulders sore and my thoughts still tangled from the day before. Each breath felt sharp in my chest, the cold air doing little to quiet the tight knot of nerves twisting in my stomach. I hadn't slept well. Dreams of cracked shields, flashing runes, and golden eyes kept dragging me under every time I closed my eyes. Even now, my legs felt heavy, like they were still stuck in yesterday's battlefield. And yet, the bus stop stood solid before me, the fog curling around my ankles, and my breath coiling in the cool air, reminders that this was no dream. Jason arrived moments later, his ever-present grin plastered across his face. I envied how easily he carried himself, like none of this fazed him. Meanwhile, I was still trying to piece myself together, feeling like my brain had been through a blender. "Morning," he said, his tone light but with a teasing edge. "Sleep well, or were you too busy dreaming about your victory yesterday?" I sighed. It wasn't a victory. It was a draw. Jason shrugged, leaning casually against the bus stop sign. His tail swayed slightly behind him, and for the second time, I noticed it. I hadn't caught it yesterday, probably too caught up in the chaos, but now it was unmistakable. He seemed completely at ease with it, but I didn't comment. It wasn't exactly the weirdest thing I'd seen. Draw, victory, whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, tying with Gorok? That's something to brag about, Jason said, his tone almost sing-song. "I'm not bragging," I muttered. "No, but you could. Seriously, man, how'd you do it? You didn't even have a weapon. I mean, it's fine if you don't want to tell me. I'm just your closest ally in this monster-infested madness. No big deal." I rolled my eyes. "Jason, you're not subtle." "Come on, Percy," he said, nudging my arm. "Just a little hint? I'll owe you one. And hey, maybe we could work on some tag team strategies, for next time." Before I could respond, the bus rumbled up, groaning to a stop. Its doors screeched open, and Jason clapped me on the shoulder. "Time to face the mob." I hesitated for a moment before stepping onto the bus. The stairs started immediately, the whispers following close behind. It was almost suffocating. Jason followed, his grin as easy as ever. "Smile, Percy. They love you." I sank into a seat near the middle, hoping to avoid as many eyes as possible. Jason plopped down beside me, already leaning in to continue his interrogation. "So, about that shield. You're not letting this go, are you?" I asked, slumping into my seat. "Not a chance," Jason said. "Come on, man. Give me something." Before I could answer, a voice cut through the murmurs. "Shield?" Jason and I both turned to see Autumn standing in the aisle, her red hair catching the faint light filtering through the bus windows. Her cat ears twitched slightly, though she tried to hide them under her hood. She glanced between us, her expression a mix of curiosity and amusement. "You're talking about the fight with Gorok, right?" she asked, sliding into the seat across from us. "Word's already gotten around," Jason grinned. "See? Even Autumn's curious." "You're famous, Percy." Autumn tilted her head, her sharp eyes locking onto me. "A human summoning a shield? That's rare. One that can take multiple hits? Almost unheard of." Jason leaned forward. "Exactly. And our buddy Percy here isn't spilling his secrets." "It wasn't a secret," I said, sighing. "I just did it. I don't know how." Autumn's gaze didn't waver with her fae. "Most humans summon weapons. A sword, a bow, something to fight with. Shields are different. Defensive, sure, but also tricky. They require a lot of focus and control. Are you sure you've never trained?" "Positive," I said. "I've never done anything like this before." Autumn leaned back, her expression thoughtful. For a moment, her gaze drifted past us, as if trying to recall a half-forgotten dream. The symbol on that shield? It was intricate, like a circle woven with sharp, intersecting lines. "I think I've seen it before. Somewhere." She shook her head lightly, a small smile tugging at her lips. "Must be my imagination. Or déjà vu." Jason crossed his arms, a smug grin on his face. See? Even she thinks you're hiding something. Before I could argue, a faint rustle caught my attention. I glanced toward the back of the bus and spotted Morgan, her dark hair falling in waves as she hunched over a book, turning a page with deliberate slowness. She didn't look up, but the subtle tension in her posture made it clear. She was listening. The edges of her manga, poorly disguised behind a school textbook, peeked out just enough for me to recognize it as another vampire-human romance. Is she always like that? I asked, nodding toward Morgan. Jason followed my gaze and chuckled. Pretty much. Don't let her fool you, though. She notices everything. Autumn smirked. She's been watching you since you got on the bus. Subtle, huh? I turned back to the front, feeling my face heat up. Was she really watching me that whole time? The idea made my skin prickle. Part of me was embarrassed, like I'd just been caught doing something dumb. But another part of me was curious. Why was she paying attention to me? Was it suspicion, interest, or something else? I wasn't sure, and that uncertainty left my thoughts spinning. Great, add that to the list of things I don't know how to deal with. Jason patted my shoulder. Welcome to Mystic High, Percy. You'll get used to it. Eventually. The bus continued its route, the whispers persisting, like a steady drumbeat echoing my own racing thoughts. I stared out the window, wondering if I'd ever stop feeling like a walking question mark in a world that already had too many answers. Normal felt like a fading dream, slipping further away with every mile, as if with each turn of the wheels, I was being rewritten into someone I didn't recognize. But I did my best to tune them out. Between Jason's endless questions, Autumn's analytical gaze, and Morgan's silent attention, I couldn't help but wonder if things were ever going to feel normal again. Chapter 12. Shadows in the Morning. The bus screeched to a halt in front of Mystic High, the force throwing us forward in our seats. For a moment, everything was silent. Then the inevitable happened. Hopper, the frog demon with bulging eyes and limbs that always seemed a bit too springy for his own good, failed yet again to secure himself properly. With a surprised croak, he was launched into the aisle like a flailing green missile, his limbs flopping wildly as he crashed straight into Jason's knees, groaning dramatically as he tried to untangle his limbs. Seriously, Hopper? Jason said, smirking as he leaned down. That's what, the fourth time this week? Are you testing the bus's suspension, or just making sure gravity still works? Hopper shot him a glare, mumbling, I don't need your commentary, Mutt. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason said, his grin widening. Did I hop all over your feelings? Even I couldn't suppress a chuckle at that one. Hopper grumbled something under his breath as he pulled himself upright, his dignity, or what was left of it, barely intact. Autumn, sitting a few rows back, rolled her eyes, her tail swishing in mild irritation. The bus doors hissed open, and we all filed out, the usual chatter and chaos of students spilling into the school grounds. As I stepped off, I caught sight of Morgan already standing near the entrance, her usual manga hidden behind a schoolbook cover. She didn't look up as we passed, but I could feel her gaze flick toward me for just a moment. Subtle, but enough to make my shoulders tense and the back of my neck prickle with awareness. Think she's reading another vampire romance? Jason whispered, nudging me with a knowing grin. I bet the human guy's sparkling this time. Shut up, I muttered, my face heating up. Hey, just saying, he replied, shrugging. You might have competition. Once inside the gates, the crowd began to scatter, everyone heading to their respective corners of the school. Jason waved me off with a casual, catch you later, and I found myself wandering aimlessly, trying to shake off the odd sense of unease lingering from the ride. That's when Morgan stepped out from behind a pillar, clutching her book like a lifeline. Her crimson eyes met mine briefly before darting away. Hey, she said softly, her voice almost lost in the morning bustle. Hey, I replied, caught off guard. What's up? I wanted to talk, she said, hesitating slightly. If that's okay. Sure, I said, though the unease from earlier hadn't quite left me. What about? She shifted her weight, glancing down at her book. Yesterday, your shield. I sighed, scratching the back of my neck. What about it? Most humans can't summon shields that strong, she said, her tone curious but gentle. How did yours survive multiple hits? I don't know, I admitted. It just happened. Instinct, I guess. Morgan nodded thoughtfully, then looked up at me, her curiosity evident. What did it feel like? I blinked, surprised by the question. Like desperation? Like if I didn't do it, I was toast. She frowned slightly, as if puzzling over my answer. That's interesting. Before I could ask what she meant, she changed the subject, her demeanor shifting to something lighter but still awkward. Can I ask you something else? Sure, I said cautiously. What's it like being human? She asked, her tone genuine but slightly unsure. I frowned. What do you mean? Like, what do you do for fun? What do humans eat? Do you really spend all your time talking about taxes and boring stuff? She hesitated, her cheeks flushing slightly. Or is that just manga being dumb? I couldn't help it, I laughed. Manga? You're getting your ideas about humans from manga? Her blush deepened, and she looked away. Maybe. Still chuckling, I shook my head. No, we don't talk about taxes all the time, at least not most of us. Then what do you talk about? She asked, her curiosity piqued. Normal stuff, I said. Movies, games, sports. Games, she repeated, her eyes lighting up. What kind of games? Video games, I replied. I've been playing Dash the Hedgebeast since I was a kid. Pretty good at that one. Her eyes widened. Dash? The one with the orange hedgehog? I played that once. I kept running into spikes, and not even the cool hidden ones. Just the obvious ones. Over and over. It was embarrassing. Yeah, that's part of the challenge, I said with a grin. It's all about speed and timing. She tilted her head, a small smile forming. Maybe I could watch you play sometime. See how it's done. Sure, I said, feeling slightly more comfortable. But don't expect anything fancy. I'm no pro. Her smile grew, and for the first time, she seemed at ease. I think you're better than you think. As we talked, the uneasy feeling from earlier began to creep back. I glanced over my shoulder, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Still, the sensation lingered, like someone's eyes were boring into me from the shadows. Unbeknownst to us, a figure watched from afar, their gaze fixed on me. The faint outline of the decapitated figure emblem glinted under the morning sun, etched into the fabric of a dark cloak that shifted ever so slightly in the breeze. The figure stood motionless among the shadows of the far fence, half concealed by a tree's long branches, watching, waiting, a silent promise of the chaos to come. Chapter 13, Shadows Stirring. The classroom buzzed with the usual morning chatter, though the whispers around me carried a new edge. My showdown with the orc had sparked all kinds of rumors, and now the stares and murmurs followed me like a shadow. I was already regretting showing up. Hey, Percy, Jason called from his seat, wearing his usual mischievous grin. Or should I say, Percy the human shield? I groaned, sliding into my desk. Don't tell me that's catching on. Oh, it's catching on, he said, clearly enjoying himself. Half the class thinks you're some kind of superhuman or a hybrid. The other half thinks you're secretly a monster in disguise. Great, I muttered, sinking lower in my chair. At least they're not calling you orc bait, he added with a wink. I glared at him, but his laugh was infectious. Fine, I'll stop. But seriously, man, what's your deal? Humans don't summon shields like that. At least not ones that can take hits like yours did. I don't know, I said, half truthfully. It just happened. Before he could push further, the door creaked open. The atmosphere shifted instantly as he entered. The whispers died, replaced by an unsettling silence. Monsters bearing the decapitated symbol, a jagged, broken crown with a severed neck silhouette. On their clothes bowed their heads subtly as he passed. He didn't acknowledge them. His gaze scanned the room, deliberate and cold. When his eyes flicked toward me, my stomach churned. I stared at my desk, trying to act casual, but my heart hammered in my chest. There was no doubt he was watching me now. Yikes, Jason whispered, leaning closer. Looks like you've got a new admirer. Not funny, I hissed. Morgan sat across the room, seemingly oblivious to the tension. She flipped a page with deliberate slowness, letting out a small sigh that barely masked her boredom. Her crimson eyes flicked up briefly, meeting mine for a heartbeat before darting back down. Her comic book, poorly hidden behind a school textbook, was clutched loosely in her hands. Meanwhile, one of his lackeys, a bulky figure with sharp features, watched me intently from the back of the room. Just as the tension reached its peak, the teacher walked in. Mr. Lucian moved with a calm, practiced indifference, his presence slicing through the tension like a cold blade. He commanded silence without raising his voice, his neutral demeanor cutting through the oppressive atmosphere. His gaze swept the room, briefly lingering on the looming figure, before turning to address the class. All right, class, he began, his voice steady. Today, we're going to talk about these bracelets. By now, everyone should have one. But judging by yesterday's events, I'm guessing some of you still don't fully understand how they work. He raised his wrist, activating the bracelet. A holographic display flickered to life, projecting a diagram into the air. This device isn't just for show. It monitors your mana levels, tracks your physical condition, and, most importantly, prevents overexertion. If your mana runs out, it stops you from drawing on your life force. And yes, that can happen if you're not careful. The class listened intently as Mr. Lucian continued. He explained how the bracelet's limiter could adjust based on the user's abilities and how it could deploy a protective barrier in emergencies. It's not foolproof, he added, his tone sharp. The barrier is a last resort. If it activates, you're already in trouble. And no, it won't save you from everything. I glanced at my own bracelet. The holographic display flickered briefly, revealing my shield of light ability. The question mark lingered, as if mocking me. Below it, glitching runes appeared again, flashing unreadable characters. For a brief second, I caught a single phrase, attempting to acquire unique ability Aura Shift. It vanished before I could process it. Percy, you good? Jason asked, nudging me with his elbow. Yeah, I said quickly, shutting the display. Just getting used to this thing. Jason raised an eyebrow but didn't press. Mr. Lucian finished his lesson and dismissed the class to their next session. As we filed out, I felt his gaze on me again. He didn't say a word, but his silence was louder than any taunt. Jason walked beside me, still trying to lighten the mood. Think the bracelet's glitching because it knows you're a secret weapon? He joked. Very funny, I muttered. The day moved forward and we headed to a new classroom.
For a moment, I let myself hope that this class would be uneventful. But knowing my luck, that seemed unlikely. Like a storm waiting just beyond the next quiet breeze, ready to shatter the illusion of normal at any moment.
Chapter 14, Unseen Legacies. The walk to the history classroom was surprisingly calm after the chaos of gym the previous day. Jason leaned in toward me as we navigated the crowded hallway. So, history, huh? Think they'll teach us about all the weird monster stuff? He asked with a smirk. Morgan glanced over, flipping her hair out of her face. They're supposed to be integrating both histories now, she said, her tone indifferent, but her eyes betraying some curiosity. Autumn trailed behind, her ears twitching slightly under her hood, arms crossed and brow furrowed in quiet annoyance. Bet it's going to be sanitized nonsense. Nobody's going to tell you how vampires probably influenced half the wars humans thought they won on their own. Jason laughed. Hey, that's your family's skeletons in the closet, not mine. Morgan shot him a glare but didn't say anything, her expression softening as she looked at me. Percy, you're awfully quiet. You nervous or just zoning out? A little bit of both, I admitted. Yesterday was a lot. Get used to it, Autumn muttered. That's not changing anytime soon. We reached the classroom, and I hesitated before stepping inside. It was a traditional setup, with desks arranged in neat rows and a massive chalkboard at the front. The faint scent of chalk and old books filled the air. For a moment, it felt almost normal, until I saw the mix of students. Humans and monsters shared the room, though the separation between the groups was almost palpable. At the front stood Mr. Holloway, an older man with a surprisingly spry demeanor. Despite his apparent age, he looked like he could have lived through the events he was about to teach. He moved with an energy that put most people half his age to shame. His kind but sharp eyes scanned the room as he waited for everyone to settle. Take your seats, everyone, he said, his voice calm but commanding. Jason nudged me toward an open seat. Better sit before he starts looking at you like he's seen through your soul. As the class quieted down, Mr. Suff Holloway introduced himself. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mr. Holloway. I've spent years studying both human and supernatural histories. My experience comes from research, not first-hand accounts. I'll leave those stories to our monster students here. He leaned against his desk, his gaze sweeping over the students. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about integrating histories since the announcement. Some of you may think this is pointless or, frankly, a lie, but the truth is, supernatural beings have influenced the world far more than most of you realize. Today, we'll start with two pivotal moments, World War I and World War II. He picked up a piece of chalk and began writing on the board. World War I, he began, was a time when alliances were forged in secret, not just among nations, but between humans and monsters. Vampires, for example, played a significant role as medics. Their blood magic saved countless lives on the battlefield. Of course, their payment came in the form of blood donations, something most soldiers never questioned. He gestured toward one of the monster students. Werewolves, on the other hand, were used as scouts and saboteurs. Their heightened senses and ability to blend into the shadows made them invaluable. The classroom was silent, every student, human and monster alike, hanging on his words. But then came World War II, Mr. Holloway continued, his tone shifting slightly. That war changed everything. The development of nuclear weapons and advanced technology made humans feel invincible. Suddenly, monsters were no longer allies, they were threats. He sighed, placing the chalk down. The hunts began shortly after. Fear and paranoia swept the globe, forcing the supernatural community into hiding. It wasn't until recently that they felt it was safe to reveal themselves again. The weight of his words settled over the room like a heavy blanket. Even Jason, who rarely took anything seriously, was unusually quiet. As the lesson continued, Mr. Holloway assigned us a project. Compare a moment in human history with its supernatural counterpart. While we jotted down notes, a shadow passed by my desk. I looked up just in time to see one of the Anti-Human Association students walking past. He didn't make eye contact, but his hand brushed my desk, leaving a folded piece of paper behind. My stomach twisted as I unfolded it. The paper was rough and creased, edges smudged as if it had passed through several hands. The handwriting was jagged and forceful, ink pressed hard enough to leave dents in the page. "You got lucky last time. That shield won't save you forever." I quickly stuffed the note into my pocket, my mind racing. Jason leaned over, whispering, "What's that about?" "Nothing," I lied, forcing a weak smile. "Just nothing." Morgan, who had been scribbling in her notebook, shot me a curious glance but didn't press the matter. By the time class ended, my heart was still pounding. As we filed out, Jason bumped my shoulder. "Better keep an eye out," he said, trying to sound casual but clearly concerned. I nodded, my fingers brushing against the note in my pocket. Whatever was coming, I knew one thing. I wasn't going to let them scare me. Not yet. I'd already been terrified just getting on the bus and walking through those gates. If they think a scribbled threat is going to break me, they're going to have to try a lot harder. Chapter 15, Rumors Take Flight. Walking into the cafeteria felt like stepping into a spotlight I didn't ask for. Every whisper, every side eye, every not-so-subtle glance, it all hit me like a tidal wave. The moment I crossed the threshold, the room seemed to hush, only to break into a low buzz of chatter that followed me like an annoying little shadow. "Hey, hybrid hero," someone called out. I didn't even bother looking to see who it was. The laughter that followed was enough. I tugged at my backpack strap and kept moving. The last thing I needed was to trip over my own feet under all these watchful eyes. "Relax, Percy. You're a celebrity now." Jason's voice cut through the noise as he fell into step beside me, his grin as wide as ever. "Somehow, I doubt that's a good thing," I muttered, picking up my pace toward the lunch line. "They're not going to let this go, are they?" "Not a chance," he said, clearly enjoying this way more than I was. "Between tying with Gorak and that little menu mishap yesterday, you've basically guaranteed your place in the school's Hall of Legends." I groaned. "It was an accident. I didn't ask for the monster menu." Sure. Jason's smirk only grew. "But come on, you've got to admit, it makes for a good story. First, you survive a fight no human should have, and now you're dabbling in exotic cuisines. What's next? Gonna sprout a tail? Maybe some wings? Keep talking, and you're gonna sprout a bruise." We reached the lunch counter, where the crowd wasn't much better. I could feel the stares drilling into the back of my head. My bracelet buzzed faintly, a notification popping up at the edge of my vision before disappearing just as fast. New message. Coach Kale. My stomach sank a little. What did he want now? Another cryptic warning, or maybe something about the shield? Whatever it was, it probably wasn't just a casual check-in. Then again, I hadn't shown up to his first after-school training session. Maybe this was about that. Morgan was already waiting at the counter, tray in hand, and her focus glued to her phone. When she noticed us, her crimson eyes flicked up briefly. Do you always attract this much attention? She asked, her voice as sharp as ever. Apparently I do now, I said, grabbing a tray and trying not to sound too bitter about it. Morgan smirked. To be fair, it is a little suspicious. Most humans can't summon shields that survive one hit, let alone multiple. And then there's this. She gestured subtly toward the staring crowd. They're probably expecting you to grow fangs any second now. Not helping, I shot back. Not trying to, she said, her smirk growing into a grin. By the time we sat down, Autumn had joined us, her red tail flicking behind her as she slid into the seat beside Jason. She looked amused, which was probably the worst thing she could have been. Her ears twitched ever so slightly, and she gave a small, knowing smile, one that hinted at a private joke or a memory she wasn't sharing. Her eyes sparkled with a hint of mischief, betraying that she was definitely enjoying the chaos more than she let on. Let me guess, she said, her sharp green eyes locking onto me. They're calling you a hybrid now? I groaned, letting my head thunk onto the table. Don't you start too. Hey, I think it's hilarious, she said, shrugging. Human summoning shields is rare enough, but yours? Pretty sure you broke some kind of record. No wonder they're talking. Glad my near-death experience is so entertaining for everyone. Hey, you lived, didn't you? Jason chimed in, stabbing at his mashed potatoes. That's more than anyone expected, so really, you should be thanking Gorak for making you famous. Yeah, because that's exactly what I wanted, to be famous for almost dying, I said, deadpan. Better than being famous for something boring, Autumn said. You could have just tripped in front of everyone or, I don't know, accidentally flashed the monster menu to the whole cafeteria. Not helping, I grumbled, though her smirk mirrored Morgan's, making me suspect she was enjoying this way too much. "Aw, come on, Percy," Jason said, leaning back in his chair. "You're practically a walking urban legend at this point. You've got to lean into it." "Yeah, like start charging for autographs or something," Autumn added with a sly grin. Morgan tilted her head, her expression contemplative. "Or you could wear sunglasses indoors? Isn't that what mysterious heroes do?" "Or a cape," Jason said, snapping his fingers. "Definitely a cape." "I am not wearing a cape," I said firmly. "Why not?" Autumn said. "It'd suit you. You could bill yourself as the hybrid hero of Mystic High. Or, ooh, the Shield Master." "Stop giving him ideas," I muttered, resisting the urge to bury my face in my hands again. "You guys are worse than the rumors." The banter carried on like that, light and teasing, but oddly comforting. For all the chaos of this place, it was starting to feel almost normal. Almost. I glanced toward the lunch counter, where the lunch lady was doing her thing. Her name tag, Serafina, glinted faintly under the cafeteria's fluorescent lights. There was something about her that always felt off. Not in a bad way, just different. Maybe it was the way she moved. Graceful, deliberate, or how her eyes always lingered a heartbeat too long. As if studying something just beneath the surface. Like she was in on some big secret I wasn't privy to. Her silver hair was pinned into an elegant twist that somehow stayed immaculate despite the steamy kitchen behind her. She caught me looking and gave a small smile, the kind that felt like it came with a knowing wink, even though she didn't actually wink. Yeah, definitely weird. Autumn leaned over, noticing where I was staring. "What's up with you and the lunch lady?" "Nothing," I said quickly. "She just, I don't know, seems mysterious." "Mysterious, huh?" Jason said, leaning forward with a grin. "Careful, Percy. Next thing you know, the rumor mill's gonna say you've got a crush on her." "Ugh, shut up," I said, throwing a crumpled napkin at him. It only made them laugh harder. For once, though, their teasing didn't bother me too much. If this was what passed for normal around here, I figured I could live with it. At least until the next disaster struck. And with my luck, it was probably already on its way.
Thank you so much for joining me through chapters 11 to 15 of Mystic High: The First Light. These chapters mark a turning point. The whispers spreading through the school, the history of hidden wars, and the way Percy's very existence begins to shake both human and monster alike. It means everything to me that you've taken the time to listen or read along with this journey I've been building for the past 14 years. Every rumor, every shield, every quiet moment in between feels more alive because of people like you choosing to experience it with me. If you've made it this far and want to continue following Percy on his chaotic, magical path, I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd prefer to read the full book yourself, you'll find the link posted below. Thank you again for supporting this story. It's more than just a book, it's a dream finally taking shape.
Each step forward, hearts aglow. Through endless trials, our strength will grow. No matter what the darkness brings, we'll soar above with silver wings. Falling through the darkest night, the stars will guide us with their light. Laughter hides the pain inside, but now we rise, a spark of pride. Through shattered dreams and broken ties, a new horizon fills the skies. The bonds we forge will never fade. Together we'll fight unafraid. Even when the night is long, we'll find courage to stay strong. The light ahead, it calls us near, dispelling doubt, erasing fear. We're chasing the light of every day, breaking through the shadows in our way. Through the fear, through the fight, we're holding on with all our minds. Each step forward, hearts aglow. Through endless trials, our strength will grow. No matter what the darkness brings, we'll soar above with silver wings. The stars will guide us, show the way to the dawn of a brighter day. Through stormy nights and endless rain, we'll find our strength, erasing fear. Our voices rise, a battle cry, chasing the light across the sky. We're chasing the light of every day, breaking through the shadows in our way. With every step we rise anew, the dawn will come, we'll see it through. Through storm and flame we'll carry on. The night will break, we'll meet the dawn. Together bound by silver wings, forever chasing the light it brings. The dawn breaks, the light shines near. Together we'll face what we all fear. Through every shadow, every test, we'll stand as one and give our best. The journey ends where hope will stay, forever chasing the light of every day.